Welcome to the Superhero's Journey, episode number 8, podcast where we talk mainly about superhero movies and TV shows with a bit of Star Wars and other things in the genre. My name is Carl Freemerman, and with me is my co-host,
Brian Shores.
You can find us on Twitter at Superhero Journey. That's no E in super. Write to us via email at thesuperheroesjourney@gmail.com, where heroes is plural, not possessive. All right. Let's begin.
Yes.
With the Inhumans trailer.
Yeah. Start off on a medium note.
On a up or down or
squarely in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this one.
Yeah.
Inhumans trailer. I was really looking forward to this, and I'm after watching this. I don't know. I'm not. What I want to say they're going wrong right now, in my opinion, is just the aesthetic of everything.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Like, I was okay with it. I should say I'm not like the most familiar with the Inhumans. I'm not the biggest fan of it. The most of the Inhumans I read was there was like a Marvel Max title that came out probably like 10 years ago.
That was a really good run, actually.
Yeah, it was good, but it was just the first issue was just a little too weird for me. Mm-hmm. And that like put me off from it. So I don't know. Some of the stuff in the look of it I thought was kind of cool. Like one of the things I really like, I don't know why this just like caught my attention, but like you have the scene where like you have the guys grabbing Crystal or whatever, and like it turns around and like she turns around and like she has like the black stripes like in her hair.
Yeah.
That's actually like her hair. It's not just like bands of something.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was a nice way to do it, but also I'm not too familiar with the character to know if that's how it's supposed to be.
I think that's how it is in the comics, but I mean, all right. So this trailer, I mean, they're on the moon, right?
Yeah.
Their base is on the moon.
Sure.
So that's sort of right.
Yeah.
But as far as the way all of them look, I mean, they're also normal looking for the most part.
Yeah, it's like they took the base idea of what they look like and just, I don't know, just tried to humanize it a little more, which you don't have to do at this point.
Yeah, and I know, of course, some of them look like humans. That's true, but
yeah, one
of the bigger things is that when we see the shot of all the other Inhumans,
mm-hmm.
they just all look like humans.
Yeah, like Lockjaw's like a hipster. No.
Yeah, I don't understand. There should be a lot of weird like alien makeup looking characters.
Yeah, like they should like when you have people that have accepted, Lash on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., at that point you kind of have carte blanche to just do weird stuff.
Yeah, and that effect was okay.
It was. I mean, it wasn't great, but it's kind of what I would expect from the show, where it kind of has probably like a medium budget.
But if you threw something like that in, say, the background for one of these random, Inhumans,
mm-hmm.
It would look really good, actually.
Yeah. Because
you don't have to see it all the time. So, like, I don't understand why we didn't get that. And honestly, there was only one guy who looked like some sort of weird alien.
Oh, yeah, the
guy.
green.
He was like green face, and he had like sort of a fin on his head.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be Triton? Maybe.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't.
I got to study up on some Inhumans.
Yeah,
I guess.
I know a decent amount about them. I read a bunch of their comics. I do like them a lot.
Yeah. I like that. That's the route they're going since they can't use the X-Men. I think that's kind of cool. But
yeah, I mean they're very different from the X-Men.
Yeah.
But the way that they're having this story seem to go is, I don't know, it could turn out okay, but it looks like Maximus is just sort of attempting a coup.
Yeah. Kind of a very Loki style thing.
Yeah, but Maximus, like, his power is that he can control people's minds, essentially.
Yeah.
And we don't see anything like that here.
Yeah.
There's like literally guys with shot of what Medusa's powers are going to look like.
Well, you actually didn't, I don't think, with the exception of the teleporting, I don't think we saw any powers really. And that's the stuff that we saw that was like leaked like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you saw in the end you saw Black Bolt.
Yeah.
Like, which was really silly in my opinion, because he's getting hit by like a police officer's like little baton.
Yeah.
And he just goes, ugh, and then a little like big blast of sound wave that overturns a police car.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. It's a good way to kind of like, I guess it's kind of a good way to introduce the concept of like what would happen, but
Yeah, and like as someone who knows what it means and how the character works, I get it, but it's silly also because I know that Black Bolt has enhanced strength and durability. You know, he's getting hit by a police officer's baton shouldn't faze him at all.
Maybe he's trying to do like the civil disobedience thing where he's like, I'm a proper ruler. I will not take aggression against you because you are lesser than me. And that's why he's just like kind of taking it. But
even so, he should just take it and it shouldn't matter.
He's just trying to make the cop feel good about himself.
Because if a hit like that is going to get him to make a sound, right, that's going to cause him to use his power and destroy something. I mean, what happens when he takes a punch from a supervillain?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to blow up half a building by accident.
Yeah, I don't know. I want it to be good.
I so do, but I'm really not. Look, I'm not impressed at all with what I saw.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed. And if I had to say anything good about this, I liked Lockjaw.
Yeah.
I like that teleporting effect was really neat.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I just like that they're doing Lockjaw because it's one of those things where I feel like if this was done maybe like 15 years ago, they would have had a teleportation system that they nicknamed Lockjaw or something.
Right, yeah.
You know, they wouldn't have actually tried to do something as silly as a giant dog.
Yeah. It's cool that they're going for that, but to me, I sort of wonder, like, they're going for that, but yet they're not doing any sort of other weird inhuman monster alien-looking guys or...
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that turns around. I did, like, see something about some rumors about the show that the reason why, and we talked about this, I think, in the last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, where they had a Marvel exec on the set, and I did hear read some speculation or rumors that it's because they were really taking the show in the wrong direction and they wanted to have somebody on the set just to, correct the course.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
We mentioned how they had a Marvel exec there. But now what you're saying, like, yeah, now I think it was more damage control than anything because... I mean,
especially now that we're not getting damage control.
Yeah, it doesn't look
wordplay.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Like I said, the sets really bother me because nothing looks really alien.
No, and actually a lot of the design
looked in this weird apartment like complex or
a lot of it looked like, and I don't mean any disrespect to the people that worked on the show, but it almost looked kind of like amateurish, where it's like, okay, me and a bunch of my friends want to make an Inhumans short film. Okay, let's go to Terry's apartment. It's kind of like, got that new, like, that really like sparse kind of like not too normal look, and I guess we can try and make it work. But it seems like a lot of this is just kind of like slapdash, just like, you can see where maybe they want to go or where it should be going, but a lot of it is just like, this is what we can do with the budget that we're given.
And the lead guy playing Black Bolt, like,
yeah,
I can't take his face. Like,
yeah,
the expressions, like, he's not going to be talking, obviously, and I'm not getting emotion from him.
No.
I don't know if that's bad direction or just the actor. I don't know the actor.
Yeah, I actually would like to see the mask on him.
Yeah, just put the mask on at this point.
Yeah.
Medusa, I don't know either about that actress. I didn't get anything from her in this trailer.
Yeah. I don't know. She still looks really plasticky. And
yeah,
not just like her face, but I mean just like how she's being portrayed, like the hair, the costuming.
Yeah. I didn't get any good vibe at all from that character.
No.
It's bad representation so far from what I'm seeing. And yeah, like the outfit she's wearing, it just looks cheap.
Yeah.
So I think it's really probably what the deal is. I mean, it seems pretty low budget.
Yeah.
And this is what bothers me because I wanted that movie. I really wanted the movie.
Yeah.
I like the Inhumans as a property, and I think it could be really awesome.
I'm just surprised that they're giving this, even as a limited run, like just like the one-day event or whatever, a theatrical release in IMAX. You think they would have at least thrown money at the pilot, and then that would have trickled down into the show, because at least then you have like, believable and good-looking sets that you can just keep because you had it for the pilot, and now that money's spent, but you can now use your $2 million an episode on, the stuff that you already have.
Yeah, and this is out in, September?
Yeah.
So we've got, around 2 months or so for them to finish off the effects on this. I mean, you got to think that they're going to be doing some good special effects, maybe.
You would
hope.
That's
the only hope. Like, none of that's finished. That's why we didn't get to see any of that. So, okay, that's my only hope.
I don't know. I kind of hope that something incredible comes out of Comic-Con or D23 with this, where they're holding it, where they're like, okay, we have this one shot that is going to make everybody lose their mind, and we want to do that in Hall H, with 8,000 people watching.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
and maybe the show doesn't have to have the best looking sets and costumes to make it a good show. I mean, it's not bad enough for me to look at it and say, like, okay, I can't watch this. Yeah. So there's a potential that maybe the story is really good.
I don't know. I think at this point where I think TV a lot of times, especially on cable even, has kind of surpassed film in the quality of a lot of things, like with like storytelling and production. And I think at this point it's kind of irresponsible to not, give like a top quality production. Like, so I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to forgive just like cheap production value on something that is supposed to be pretty much like an investment property, something that, Disney and Marvel are supposed to, they should be like hanging their hat on it, because you look at, it was a miniseries that got like 2 seasons basically, but Agent Carter, that looked great. Like,
yeah, sure did.
It's completely believable, and I understand it's completely, it's easier to do like a period piece in like, the 50s in America versus, an alien colony on the moon. But I don't know, just put the effort in.
Yeah, but
I'm also not invested in this really, so right. I don't care too much. But
yeah, but I'm sure we've had something similar. Star Trek, The Next Generation had believable sets for futuristic spaceships.
But I will say this though, if you watch the sets, with the exception of like the bridge, like all the hallways and stuff, those are all actually almost everything on Next Generation is repurposed from stuff from the movies.
What, like, but the Next Generation is different sets from the...
No, if you, I promise you,
like from the movie, like the original series movies.
Yeah, yeah. If you watch like the corridors, they just changed the color scheme. I think they like turned the bridge into sick bay, and I might be getting like the locations wrong, but so much of it was just kind of repurposed. So that's why that does have that feel to it. Mm-hmm. But I will say the stuff they made specifically for the show, like the bridge, I think looks incredible. Like, I think that still holds up just watching the show now. But then you watch the holodeck, which is a giant black room with like yellow tape, put in a grid. Then you can kind of see where they ran out of the budget.
But I didn't see any set that looked like, all right, that's going to be the cool set that they're going to use a lot.
No.
The throne room didn't look amazing.
No, I have a feeling that it's just going to be like them like bombing around an apartment in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's going to be weird. Like, how's that going to go? Like, what is Black Bolt going to be doing? He's just, I teleported with my dog to Hawaii, and we're just going to have a wacky adventure there.
I really hope they just turn it into the real world. And like Maximus is just like, he's doing like one of those talking heads where he's like, I just think it's crap that Black Bolt just won't talk to me. Okay, we have problems. And then like it just cuts to Black Bolt, and he's just like shrugs. He's just like, can't talk to me.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, like Medusa is pissed because like she takes like Lockjaw for a walk, and then she has to bring like a garbage bag with her to clean up after him.
And another thing is if the effects aren't done, which I imagine they're not.
Yeah.
Where is there going to be a cool action sequence with Karnak? Because the little bit of action I saw didn't look very good either.
No.
Karnak is basically a martial artist in all respects. His ability is that he can find the flaw in anything, right?
Yeah.
So he can find the weak spots, and he can utilize that or exploit it very
Yeah.
easily. So, but
You
he
can
uses
punch
martial
him.
arts, to do that. But we didn't see anything like that in this trailer either. So I don't
Yeah.
know where to go with this.
I don't know. I mean, it was very much a teaser. It didn't give a whole lot of story. I do kind of wonder how much, because you have, I think it's Maximus in the beginning where he's saying, is like, it's only a matter of time before the humans find us. It's like, dude, you're on the moon and we don't have a shuttle program anymore.
I mean, how did they not find them already?
They're on the dark side of the moon.
I don't know. Are there parts of the moon that we haven't seen? I feel like
I'm sure there are.
We know every part of the moon.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point it's completely mapped.
Yeah, right.
Because, I mean, like, because I bought, as a side note, it would have to be because a few years ago it was like a Christmas or a Father's Day gift. I bought my dad, because my dad's like bigger than space. I bought him like an acre on the moon because somebody laid claim to the moon.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like a legal claim. So
That's awesome.
he's like selling land on the moon.
How much was it?
It's probably like $50.
$50. All right.
Yeah. For like land that
Pay off one day. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Elon Musk just makes really cheap, affordable, like, space travel, and then you can just like go to your homestead up on the moon.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like because they had that, like you could. You just like looked and like the map of the moon, you could see what was purchased or not. So yeah, no, we've mapped the moon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So there's no Inhumans there. We already know. Dang it.
You see, they're cloaked.
They're cloaked.
Yeah.
All right.
They're part Romulan.
Whatever. They probably do. They're supposed to have advanced technology after all.
Yeah.
They do because they have Kree technology. So.
Yeah, like the Kree just kind of left it for them. And...
All right, let's move on. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something else.
Carl's just crestfallen.
Yeah, right. Which probably isn't going to make me that much happier.
Yeah.
But so Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the last 2 X-Men movies, he's going to be back in X-Men: Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been the best part of those last 2 movies.
Yeah, we just have a promise of a cool slow motion scene.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think we'll get another like really big sequence with him, or is he gonna be more?
You know what I would actually really like them to do is like set that up where like, they do where everything just kind of like freezes and like maybe he's not eating a Twinkie again, but he's about to do that, and then he's about to take off and you're gearing up because you hear like the 90s music equivalent of Sweet, like the Eurythmics.
Yeah.
And
Sweet Dreams.
Yeah, Sweet Dreams. And you're like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And then like Dark Phoenix just takes him out. And like, that's it. Like,
or maybe like some other mutant comes in and just solves the problem with him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh. Damn.
He's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have. I mean, those scenes have been the most interesting sequences in both of those movies.
Oh yeah,
Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for seeing another one, but you need a good movie around it.
Yeah.
So
my hope for it is just that it's fun. That's really what I want.
But also, you definitely have to address this character and how to deal with his power level.
Yeah.
Because he has godlike speed. I mean, this guy can, he moves faster than an explosion.
Yeah.
Expands.
Which I did like that they did go the route where everything was slowed down but not frozen.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because it seemed to at least like limit his power, as opposed to like on The Flash where, when Barry's running, everything's just kind of stopped around him. Same thing when they did on Smallville and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, it could be cool. I'm sure it will be for that, but I don't know about the movie itself.
Yeah.
I just want the Starjammers. That's all I care about.
Yeah, well, okay. Maybe that's something that I would like to see for sure. Yeah. We'll talk about that. I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
Also, this actor Lamar Johnson was cast in an unnamed role.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Nope.
If I had to guess, he's an African-American actor, so Bishop.
Bishop, yeah.
Comes to mind. I mean, we had a version of Bishop in X-Men: Days of Future Past,
which I liked.
Yeah.
For what little we saw, I still actually, and after the Quicksilver scene, I think that opening sequence was probably the best part of that movie.
That was another good sequence. Yeah. The future sequences in that movie, the fights were really cool. Yeah. With Blink and doing the teleport stuff, very cool.
Yeah, and then Sunspot, just being awesome.
Yeah, he looked cool. I like the effect of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Bishop. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, I know in the comic version, he's like he came from that future, right?
Yeah.
But we never knew where the original version was, like the regular timeline one was. So there's got to be a regular timeline Bishop, and maybe we'll meet the regular timeline Bishop in this one. Because I mean, if you look at the way Days of Future Past was done, I mean, that wasn't that far into the future. Yeah. So it would make sense that he would be somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be.
So you could bring him into the story.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Then
just to have another mutant.
Yeah. Then I think they've
add some color.
They've really, literally, they've pretty much just said that they don't care at all about like age continuity or anything like that with these, because you had Angel, who was probably like, late teens, early 20s, and X-Men: The Last Stand, and then he's in the 80s, he's probably same age. And he's supposed to be the same guy, so I don't know. A lot of that stuff's kind of weird. So they can, at this point, they can literally throw anyone they want anywhere in these. Yeah, and also for the fact that nobody ages.
Yeah, I don't think anyone at this point cares about their continuity, because
I think they've just accepted the fact that like they're like, yeah, this is all kind of screwed up, so we're just gonna do something fun.
I mean, look, just make a good movie. Yeah, like continuity, it does bother me.
Yeah,
but. First, just make a good movie. I'll be okay with it. Like X-Men 1 and 2 were good movies. And
First Class, I think, is...
First Class is the best, yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of what you're talking about, though, because that doesn't follow even remotely close, like, the continuity, really, that we've seen in the other movies, but they managed to make a better story and a better execution and all that.
Right, yeah. So, like, yeah, exactly. You just forgive it because it's not important. You're like, no. At that point, I was like, no, this is the continuity. Yeah. Forget everything else because I like this the best.
Yeah. And then they went and gave it back to Bryan Singer.
Yeah, exactly. So, on that, I want to bring up that they announced also officially, and this is probably already known, but all the actors who are coming back. So, James McAvoy as Professor X. Yeah. Michael Fassbender as Magneto, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique.
Wolverine. Oh, they're trying to mix it up because Hugh Jackman's done with the role, so they're just throwing it at anyone.
They need someone to play it. She'll play the female Wolverine now. Well, that's X-23, but in the comics, she's got the traditional Wolverine costume now. It looks great.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, I really like that.
But there's hoping maybe we'll see a real Wolverine costume one day, right?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think if they put it on anyone, they would probably put it on the girl.
Yeah. So, okay, Nicholas Hoult is back as Beast, Sophie Turner, Jean Grey, Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, Alexandra Shipp as Storm, and Cody McPhee as Nightcrawler.
All right.
Now, the thing that jumps out at me with this is that why the hell is Michael Fassbender and Jennifer Lawrence back in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Fassbender, I can kind of get... I mean, just because I still like Magneto and what he's done with it, and he is kind of like through all the movies, but it is kind of unnecessary. Jennifer Lawrence, just let her go, because I don't even think she really cares about these movies anymore.
I don't think so either. But it's more not a problem of like not liking them, or they've been good in other movies, in these X-Men movies. Michael Fassbender is great as Magneto.
Yeah,
but we've seen Magneto in every one of these movies.
True.
I don't need him anymore. I'm tired of him.
Yeah.
Move on from him. And Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, again, I'm tired of that character. I don't care anymore. Move on. Like, the thing is not that they shouldn't be in this movie, is that there's no place for them anymore, and we don't need them. Move on. Give us time for these other characters so we can develop them. Because guess what? With those two actors in this movie, they're gonna have to give enough time to them to give them some sort of like a little story arc or plot thing for them, and like that's time wasted to do on these other characters who I'd much rather see. I want more Cyclops. I want more Storm. I want more Nightcrawler. Yeah, don't care about those two characters, and even Beast. You could let him go too. Like, we've seen enough of him as Beast. That's fine. We can move on from him too.
Yeah, Apocalypse should have really just been the introduction to the team you saw at the end of the movie, with the exception of Mystique, because I don't care about her character anymore. Like what happened with, like I thought, I think it was fun what they did with her, and I can appreciate what they did out of the three with her with the three movies, but yeah, just give Cyclops and Jean Grey and Storm and Nightcrawler, just give them all like room to breathe.
Yeah.
Because they're made out to be main characters in the last movie, and yet we really know nothing about them.
They didn't get a lot of time because again, we were still doing Michael Fassbender. We got.
I think Sophie Turner got, or at least like from my perception of it, she seems to have gotten like the least screen time, and now they're kind of just from the title alone devoting an entire movie to an arc on her character.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. But...
it turns out the last 5 minutes of the movie, it's Professor X and Magneto just like sitting playing chess. He's like, oh yeah, whatever happened to that redhead girl? He's like, oh yeah, Phoenix thing, whatever. And credits just.
Yeah, I'm just so like with these movies, with them changing so much, even like the whole Mystique thing. It was fine in the first, like X-Men First Class,
yeah,
where they were trying to make it that she was a hero at one point,
yeah.
But now it seems like they're just like, no, she's always a hero.
Yeah.
She's never a villain.
Yeah.
But in the comics, she is a villain, and she's really never been anything but a villain.
Yeah, she's
sort of maybe a moral gray area at times.
Yeah, I think
she's never really a hero.
Yeah, I think there were times after the first movie or maybe the second movie came out where in the comics they were trying to make her more of a likable character, where she was like, I'm bad, but I believe in what you guys are doing, you X-Men, so I'm going to go hang out with you, and then I'm going to do something bad, and you're going to kick me out, but deep down inside, that we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably the closest she ever came to be good, but...
And if anybody is listening and is thinking about making a comment saying in Days of Future Past that Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique is the villain of that movie... She's not really, because she's trying to assassinate someone, which is a bad thing, but she's doing it for a good reason, because she believes that it's going to that Bolivar Trask is going to end up wiping out all the mutants with his Sentinels. So like she was doing something that was really a vigilante act. It wasn't totally a criminal, bad villain type thing.
Because it was kind of coming from a place of like desperation, where it's just like, this is my last resort. I have to do this to save people because nobody else is willing to stand up and stop. So.
And it wasn't even a selfish act. Like usually villains are doing things just to benefit themselves. Like she's trying to benefit all mutants essentially. Which
is just one thing I always kind of wondered. Little off topic, and then we'll go back to the X-Men, but like. Okay, you have like the cliche trope of the supervillain, like, I'm trying to take over the world. What are they going to do when they take over the world? Do they not realize like all it is going to be endless like paperwork and diplomacy? Like it's not just going to be like you're sitting on and even if it is that you're just sitting on a throne and you delegate all that crap to other people, how bored are you going to be that you spent your entire life building these death rays out of volcanoes? That now all you're doing is just like, I guess I won.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah. I don't know. That's something that never made sense.
Passing laws and...
Yeah. And then you're trying to figure out how to break down taxes to like best, like to most fairly help, the people that you are now responsible for, even though you don't care, like you kind of have to.
Yeah. Do I want to give the people health care? I don't know. Yeah. Do I want to fix the roads? Yeah. Maybe.
It's like, I don't know. I mean, I have a jetpack. I'm a supervillain. I can fly. What do I care about roads? They're like, yeah, but everybody else needs them. Like, come on, Dr. Psychoplex, or I don't know, whatever, some like cheesy...
Take over the world to help people, damn it.
They're like, then why'd you do it, okay? Yeah, right. That's literally all you have to do. I don't know. That's something, it just never made sense to me. The... trying to destroy the world, I get. Trying to, like... I don't know. Like, trying to, like, steal the world's wealth, I get. Trying to rule the world never made sense to me.
Not really, no.
No.
Good point.
Thank you. It happens once every couple of years.
All right, I'm done with X-Men.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Speaking of segues that don't make any sense.
Moving on from X-Men, we're gonna go to New Mutants, which
yeah,
so vastly different from X-Men.
I mean, kinda.
So the New Mutants movie has a replacement casting.
This kind of made me sad a little.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson was gonna play Dr. Cecilia Reyes.
Yep.
Who's now gonna be played by actress Alice Braga, who was in I Am Legend. She was the main lead in that. Well, sort of like she was whatever the woman in that.
Yeah,
movie.
the woman.
There's only one.
Yeah.
And Elysium and Predators.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I've seen enough. Honestly, I like Rosario Dawson, but
yeah,
I've seen enough of her, especially in these sort of type of movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like we were also saying, it's not that far of a departure from the Claire Temple character.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how many times, honestly, like, there's certain actors where you see them all the time, and you can't really see them as different characters anymore.
Yeah, no, she very much looks like Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. So, like, every time I see her, and she doesn't, it's not like she's a bad actress, but she's not the actress that disappears into the role, and she becomes a different person. Yeah,
it's very much just the difference between, like, an actor and, like, a character actor, like somebody who just, like, dives into a part, like Harrison Ford versus Gary Oldman, where Gary Oldman will lose, I'll lose him in a part, like, I'll recognize him, but, like, Sirius Black looks, to me, like, I don't recognize him as, Commissioner Gordon or the
villain in Fifth Element.
Right? Yeah. Like, they're all...
Or
like,
Professional.
Yeah. Gary Oldman might be one of the most, like, underrated actors.
He's a great actor.
And he gets acclaim, so I think... I don't know. I'm realizing right now in this moment that I'm a pretty big Gary Oldman fan. But then you have, the pendulum swing of, like, Harrison Ford, who is somebody you hire to play Harrison Ford.
Right.
Which is totally cool. Like, I love Han Solo. I love Indiana Jones. I love Regarding Henry.
Mm-hmm. And, like, Chris Pratt now, like, he just, he plays Chris Pratt. That's who he plays.
Yeah.
He's that type now.
He plays Noob Chris Pratt.
Noob Chris Pratt.
He doesn't play, like, first season Parks and Recreation Chris
That's
Pratt.
True.
Yeah.
But
that's coming eventually.
Yeah, right.
I have a feeling.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's a little story there.
Yeah.
Boy, okay, we got this one. We got Fox announcing a bunch of release dates now.
Yep.
There are 6 new release dates. All of these are Marvel-based movies. None of them are titled as what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So we've got a movie, we have June 7th, 2019, November 22nd, 2019, March 13th, 2020, June 26th, 2020, October 2nd, 2020, and March 5th, 2021. So they're going out there pretty far and giving us several movies a year. I mean, 3 of them in 2020.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I'm wondering how many of these I'm actually going to care about.
Yeah, I mean, so... I have some ideas of what I think these are going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, an obvious one, Deadpool 3 is probably a gimme. I think at this point they know that's a series they're going to keep going with.
Yeah.
That could be... I mean, when's Deadpool 2? Is that next year?
Yeah. Yeah, it's next year. So, I hope that out of this Deadpool movie, I hope they spin off X-Force.
Yeah, that's another one that I have, and I think will be on as one of those.
I can't imagine them not doing that, unless like James Brolin and I forget whoever they cast to play Domino, unless they desperately hate like making that movie. I can't imagine them not doing that.
Yeah, I mean Josh Brolin. I mean he's gonna be good.
Yeah,
and Domino. I mean she's definitely.
Did I say Josh or James? I think I can combine names. Josh Brolin, whatever.
Yeah.
The dude from Goonies.
I mean, I definitely want X-Force for sure because I really like that team a lot, and especially if anybody hasn't seen, they had the last run that they did for X-Force, which was in 2014, and this, if anybody wants to read any X-Force comics, I would recommend this one. This was a really cool run, and this one featured a team of Cable, Psylocke, Phantom X, Dr. Nemesis, and Marrow. Mm-hmm. So Domino wasn't even part of this. She did appear in the comic, but she wasn't a main part of the team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was like original X-Force, and that's kind of what I think they would, at least partially spin off first. I don't know if they're going to go the later, because they've had a bunch of different X-Forces.
Oh, they've had a lot of different teams. But, like, I don't want the team like that has Wolverine in it, Deadpool. Like, that's Deadpool can appear in it, but like I don't need Deadpool to be in that team because I don't feel like it would work as well.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be X-Force should be a different tone. It should be more serious. They're like a mercenary team of mutants.
Even though X-Force was just a rebranding of the New Mutants originally.
Yeah, that's true, but it's become something else.
And, like
it doesn't need to be what it originally was. It should be
just take the name,
the best of what that idea is. And I think that's sort of that last run that I read, which was really good.
Yeah, I don't know. They did have the one run where I know you're not a Wolverine fan. I didn't really love what they did with Wolverine in there, but it was like Wolverine, X-23, Thunderbird, and I think there was a couple other ones, and it was just like they were just like, yeah, we're like just the Black Ops of X-Men. It was kind of fun.
I mean, it's not that I wouldn't want Wolverine in. He makes sense for the team and X-23 as well, but like I've seen enough of them. I don't need any more.
Oh, you've seen enough of X-23.
Not X-23, but she's Wolverine. That's what I mean. Like, she's not any really that different from Wolverine.
No.
She even acts the same way for the most part.
Yeah.
So like I've seen enough of Wolverine. We need to move on from that. There's so many different characters in this world.
I think it's going to be a while before we see another Wolverine though.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, because you can't just write him into any of these X-Men movies that we've done. Coming up, because it would be weird.
Yeah. Just have a completely different guy just showing up like, "Hey, just call me Logan." Like, "Oh, no, you're Jack Black. Go away."
Yeah, because they even put Hugh Jackman in the other movie in Apocalypse. So, like you can't have anyone else play that character. It won't work.
Yeah.
If they continue this continuity. Now, these other movies, are they going to be their own continuity? I have no idea. Are they going to be part of anything? They really need to get that down. That's going to bother me a lot if they don't decide and say, hey, Deadpool and everything in modern day is the same timeline.
Yeah.
And X-Men is just separate. That would be fine. Just please, like, define that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I really want to see Marrow. I think Marrow would be an awesome character to show on.
Because I think they were kind of like hinting at or nodding to Marrow in the first Deadpool. I think you kind of saw her just like from behind.
Yeah, they had that little sort of cameo. Well, it wasn't a cameo, but like,
but it was like hinting at.
You could, infer that was Marrow. If anybody listening doesn't know, Marrow is a mutant that can sort of grow bones from any part of her body
and like use them like pull them out and like use them as like blade weapons
use them as weapons. She can use it as shielding to protect herself, and it's a really interesting effect, and it looks really cool, and it almost looks like sort of horrific and scary at times, the things that she can do with it.
Now Marrow would be a character to try and turn into like a horror character
for New Mutants.
New Mutants.
That movie, that's going to be horror, which doesn't make sense. But well, maybe,
I can see where they have horror elements to it, but
there could definitely be for some of those characters.
Yeah,
but X-Force could be more. I mean, X-Force would be much more serious, type of movie. So that'd be nice. And let's see, what else did I have as ideas? Gambit's probably going to be one of them. I think that's still happening.
Yeah, maybe.
No, they're obviously not gonna. I don't think they're gonna throw that away, especially if they're planning on 6 more movies. That's got to be one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want them to continue with that. I don't know if Channing Tatum's. I guess he's probably going to stick with it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, he's fine. Like, I don't.
I mean, no one's casting him for anything else, but I don't know that I believe him as Gambit.
Yeah, I don't know. I still liked, even though it wasn't a good movie and they didn't use him well, I still like Taylor Kitsch as Gambit. Like,
he was fine. I honestly I want a little bit more personality out of him.
Yeah. Which I haven't seen enough with him. Like, I didn't watch like Friday Night Lights or anything like that to know what range he had. But
what we got in that movie, he didn't. And of course, that movie's garbage. So it's the movie's fault. Yeah. So it could be a Deadpool situation where you bring him back, and he could do a much better job. Yeah. But it's Channing Tatum at this point. Yeah. And Tatum is, I do like him, but I don't know that he's right for the role. Like he looks too honestly big. Like he looks kind of bulky for a guy who's gonna be Gambit.
That, and also, and this might be a weird thing to say, like, because he is big and he's bulky, and that's not really what Gambit is, because he's supposed to be like the thief, and he's like slender and wiry, but he's also like very boyish. Like
Yeah.
he has a very like young look to him, and that's
true.
also not what I attribute to Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit, like, I imagine as a guy, like, in his, like, mid-30s, you know?
Yeah.
Like, kind of gruff, you know? Not gruff, not the word, but, like, he's gonna have, like, a stubble going on, you know? And he's just... He's experienced.
Yeah.
And
He's seen some stuff.
Right, and Channing Tatum doesn't have that look about him.
No.
So... okay, what else could I see in this? I mean, New Mutants 2, you know, if they...
Sure, yeah.
If they're planning that far and they really like what they have with New Mutants, they could do a sequel to that. Another X-Men, of course, should be in this.
Yeah. I don't know what the...
Like, at this point, I think they're just trucking along. They're like, all right, we're just going to keep going with this team.
And dude, more power to them. I mean, just like... You know, because X-Men's kind of the franchise where as long as you throw continuity out, you can't, like, there's so many characters, you can just, like, start plugging them in and just telling your own stories. Like, it doesn't all have to revolve around Professor X and Cyclops and Jean Grey and Wolverine.
But it does every time.
But it doesn't have to.
No, it doesn't. Please, don't do that.
This is another one of my pleas where I'm like, Hollywood, just let me write your stuff. I'll find a way to make it good. You guys will hate it, but trust me.
Yeah, like, can we do an X-Men story that doesn't have to revolve around the core team and just focus on a couple of those characters?
Yeah.
You know, like, Professor X maybe makes a cameo, but he's not a major part in the movie.
Dude, do Excalibur.
Excalibur, yeah.
That would be kind of
X
cool.
Factor. Yeah. You know, that's another team they could do. They could do a movie for that.
No, I mean, depending on, like, if you're gonna do X Factor, if you're gonna do that, I would want to see the Jamie Madrox version, because the original X Factor was Cyclops and Jean Grey and
Beast.
Beast.
It's definitely not the original.
Yeah, but like the noir, like just mutant detective story.
Yeah, you gotta have like multiple men in there and Polaris, right?
I think later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wolfsbane was in there.
Well, she's in New Mutants. But...
Yeah, Strong Man or Strong Guy.
Strong Guy, yeah.
Yeah. If anyone hasn't read those, it's a real fun story. It starts off in a miniseries called Madrox, where it's just about Jamie Madrox starting his own detective agency, and then the following continual story comic is just really fun. It does get into, I think, the
Jamie Madrox is multiple man. Right?
Yeah, he's multiple man. I just love the idea where he just sends duplicates out of himself out into the world, and they just learn stuff, and he just absorbs it. And then he got rich because he went on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but left like 10 of his doubles behind to just research out, everything to be his phone a friend, and he got the money to start his detective agency that way. It's super
great.
fun.
Like, there's a lot of cool, fun stuff you could do with a character like that.
Yeah.
But it would have to be a smaller scope movie, and I would like that. They should do that.
Yeah. Generation X would be a cool one to do.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with anything about them.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite X-Men titles as a kid. Just because it was like teenage X-Men, but they were from a school in Boston, and it was like Emma Frost and Banshee were the headmasters of a school where it was a normal school with like normal kids, but then you just had this team of like 5 mutants where, and that would actually be the one to turn into a horror, because you have a dude whose face is half ripped off and is just a continual like plasma blast chamber. And then you have Skin, who's like this guy with gray skin that he can just like, I think he has something like 6 meters of extra skin that becomes almost prehensile. And, yeah.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah. But it's stuff that would lend itself very well, like Penance. Yeah.
So, okay, now, if Fox really wants to get ambitious, and they want to do something really different and interesting.
Fantastic Four.
And no, if they want to have their own Guardians of the Galaxy, it's incredibly easy for them because they have the goddamn Starjammers.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why you can't do a really cool movie with the Starjammers, who is this team of like space pirates essentially, with Corsair, Cyclops' father, as essentially the Star-Lord character.
Yeah.
Leading this team around, having wacky space adventures.
I mean, at this point, there's no reason why they can't do it, because they're bringing the Shi'ar into the next movie.
Right.
So there's no reason why the Starjammers can't just be their own thing. You know, like, you know, I don't want it to be like, you know, Corsair is just like rocking out to like classic, you know, like classic music.
Well, no, yeah, you can't do the exact same thing.
Yeah, don't do the exact same thing, but you could do a lot of fun stuff with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, they have this really cool spaceship, and the characters are like, I don't know, most of them, a couple of them are aliens, but other ones have like I think cybernetic things and stuff like that. I mean, definitely, you could do this.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Do that.
And even, you know, whatever, bring in, like, if you want to bring in Cyclops into that too, because there was this really cool run that they did with the, like, in the comics not too long ago with like the young Cyclops.
Yeah.
He was having a space adventure with his dad and on the Starjammer with them.
Yeah, you could even go as far as to bring like Vulcan into it, which is like Cyclops' younger brother, who
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
He's got a third one.
Yeah. I think it was
second brother.
Yeah.
The third of them.
But yeah, no, he's, you know, he basically, his power is just energy manipulation, so he's kind of like all powerful, but you know, he's just kind of like a damaged character, but he had a really fun story arc I liked. I don't know if they'd want to bring that in right away, but you know, it could be cool. I mean, you already did Havoc first, so
yeah, so you know, Fox, go wild, man, do it. Why not?
Contact Brian and Carl. We will help you.
No, contact the writers of the Starjammer comics, okay?
Like Chris Claremont?
Yeah, whoever it is. Yeah. They can steer you to the right direction, okay?
But they would pay us money, Carl.
Oh, please.
We could sell out,
We
Carl.
would do it for free, Brian.
Yeah, and actually that's why it wouldn't be selling out.
Yeah.
We're just I don't know if we could do it for free. Right? Going out to California to write.
Yeah. It wouldn't work out very well for our lives.
No.
All right. So, with Spider-Man Homecoming coming up soon.
Oh, wait, do we want to do this? Or do we want to go over that one thing?
Oh, you had one thing. You
had
a surprise for me.
Yeah. This is not earth-shattering. It is a little bit of a spoiler for the coming series of The Flash. But... Okay, I just want to... This is one of the moments where you can't see, but I just want to frame Carl's face. I'm going to butcher... I'm not even going to try because I know I'll just butcher his name. But the guy who plays Wally West on the show...
Okay.
He has confirmed that he will not become the Flash. At all.
Ooh, shocker.
No. See, I thought you were going to go the route because that's what you desperately wanted. You wanted the season without Barry. I just wanted to shatter. Okay. I wanted to shatter that from
destroying my dream of the season without Barry. Well, I mean, does that mean that he's not going to? They're not going to do that, or he's just not going to be called the Flash? He's still going to be Kid Flash.
I think like right away they're going right in, and they're just like, bad stuff's happening. Let's try and get Barry back. You know, even though you have Jay and you have Wally and you have Jesse, you know, who all should be able to, you know, kind of hold their own.
I think whatever this quote
just
is...
Just let Barry be happy for once.
They're probably reading way too much into him, like, not being the Flash, like as if he has to be called literally the Flash.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's essentially going to... Yeah, he's still going to be, like... He's still probably going to be in the yellow suit, and, you know, that's fine.
Yeah, like, I don't expect him to start wearing the red suit.
Yeah.
Calling himself the Flash. Like, why would he do that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe he wants to get rid of the Kid moniker, but...
Yeah. He's like, no, it's just Flash. Now let's all take selfies with me.
He's going to own that Kid Flash name.
Yeah.
He likes it now, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he didn't like it or not.
I think
he seems to be okay with it now.
I think he's come around to it.
Yeah. All right.
But, well, that was quite... Very underwhelming.
A little anticlimax, right?
Yeah. Carl, can you just, like, throw something across the room?
Damn it, Brian.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it.
Oh wait, no. Let's briefly talk about the Jumanji trailer.
Oh, that hurt. Yeah. Oh.
Not superhero related.
But I mean, we kind of talked about The Rock and the Rampage, so
yeah,
we gotta toss this in there too. Oh, that hurt.
This is like one of those things. Where it's like, why did you do this? Why would you want to do it this way?
Yeah.
So in this version, it's a video game.
It's not a board game for some reason.
Okay, I get it. That's a modernization.
It's trivial. It's so pointless though.
Yeah, but like people still play board games. It's not like they don't.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's so stupid and pointless to make it a video game. Like, I understand what they're kind of doing, you know, where they're like, yeah, these are this, you know, you look like the stereotypical, you know, characters in a video game, but it's just it's so unnecessary to do.
Yeah, so they get this, like, they find this weird video game system, it looks like, right?
Yeah. Because they're breakfast clubbing. Like, they're weekend detentioning. They have to clean out like some storage room, which I can't imagine a school ever making students do.
I don't know.
Because that just comes down to a liability issue. Yeah.
So they start playing this game, and they got to pick these characters, and they all pick different characters. Why is that
game in a school?
I don't know, and it's specifically 4-player because there's 4 people.
Yeah.
And there's 4 specific characters for them to choose from.
It's right? Where in the world is Carmen
Sandiego? Yeah, and they just go based on the names, and then they get transported into the world, and now these kids actually become these characters that they chose in the game, and those characters are like The Rock and Jack Black,
Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan,
some chick. Oh, okay, Karen.
Yeah, she's from Doctor Who.
Yeah. Well, she was
also in
she's Nebula.
Oculus. Yeah, Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. I still know her as Amy Pond. Though.
Now, if you remember, there was a story a while back about that first photo they showed of this movie where they're in the jungle and everyone's in their sort of jungle uniform.
Yeah.
And Karen Gillan's character is wearing like a thing.
She's like half naked.
Yeah. Right, showing her midriff in really short shorts. And in the trailer, they have the comment like, oh, it's like, why am I wearing this, you know, outfit in the jungle?
Yeah.
And when the story came out, they said, "Oh, when you see the movie, you'll know there's a specific reason for this."
Yeah.
So now when I see the trailer, so now you're telling me your specific reason is that she's a stereotypical video game character?
Yeah, because they were trying to make her look like Lara Croft.
Yeah, like that's okay?
Yeah.
That's not okay. That doesn't excuse the fact that people are like, why is she wearing completely inappropriate clothes for a jungle adventure? Like,
why was Lara Croft? Or Lara Croft.
Well, because it was a video game character.
Exactly.
So like, you got it then, but now it's like it doesn't make sense. It's not a good excuse, rather, for them to say that the reason will make sense when you see it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it does sort of make sense in stereotypical like 1990s video game version lore, but hey.
Yeah, but what doesn't make sense is the console that they pull out for the Jumanji game. It very much looks like an old like Atari.
It's a weird old looking
thing,
yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, that's Pong. It's gonna be like a choose your own adventure. Nope. It's like Super Nintendo.
Yeah, like the title screen looks like pretty good.
Yeah, it's like 16-bit.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
So okay, so now they're inhabiting these other these characters. So like the skinny kid is like The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, and like the sort of, I guess he was sort of like I'm guessing he was like a jockey. You know, African American guy is now like the
Kevin
smaller
Hart.
Kevin Hart guy, and then one of the other girls is Jack Black.
Yeah, which I mean, I've been dying to watch Jack Black just act like a tween.
Oh, God.
If you guys are wondering, I'll save you the time. No, he can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the moment in the trailer where it was like the facepalm moment. I was like,
I wish you guys could have seen Carl's reaction to
this whole concept. I was like, no. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. This is awful.
Yeah, and I think like what bothers me the most about this, other than it just being bad and just looking bad, is I actually really love the book Jumanji, like the children's book.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know, for those that don't know, I've studied art, you know, in college, and like I just very much enjoy illustration stuff. And Chris Van Allsburg is an incredible illustrator, and like he's got to do like Polar Express and Zathura, and just like all these just like incredibly like well drawn books. And you know, the original, the Robin Williams Jumanji book movie is nothing like the book, but there's not all that much to the book, so I can understand why they took it in that direction. But this just seems like it's like, yeah, we kind of wanted to do this, so we'll just throw this name on it so it's somewhat recognizable. So that really just was very off-putting for me, just someone who grew up as a fan of the property.
Yeah, I mean, this very much seems like, all right, we have the license, to this, or we're just going to use this name that people recognize, and it's another Jumanji movie, yay! But even though it's nothing like anything Jumanji related, and it's a completely ridiculous idea.
Yeah, and then it was so annoying watching the trailer because the song that plays throughout the trailer is "Welcome to the Jungle," which is a good song. Like I like the song. Like it's on my phone. Like I listen to it. But it's like this is way too on the nose. Like this is just so like derivative of everything you're gonna see, and then the payoff is that the subtitle of the movie is "Welcome to the Jungle."
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's even worse. That makes my insides
definitely
sad.
An overused song.
Oh yeah,
and it's literally that's what's happening in the movie.
Yeah, and it's not even like they're poking fun at that, or it's like self-referential or anything. It's just, I don't know, it's just dumb.
All right, let's move on to something good.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yep.
Spider-Man
They're
Homecoming.
rebooting Care Bear.
No. Yes. Care Bears.
Yes.
Care Bear Stare.
Yep.
Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out next week.
Yes.
And we're going to see it on Thursday.
Yep. Yes. Kind of.
We're ready for it.
Yep. Almost serendipitously, like watching the movie together, unintentionally.
Yeah, right.
We bought our tickets independently, and I am sitting directly behind Carl and his fiance in the theater.
It worked out.
Yeah.
So this, actually, I quickly mentioned that reviews so far are really good for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me, just because, like, I trust all the decisions that these people are making, save for the fact that I don't love how the Vulture looks, but also, for releasing the reviews this early, they're not going to be bad.
Yeah. And everything I'm reading in the reviews, and I'm not trying to read a lot of it. I don't want to read too much, but all the little things I'm seeing are just saying good stuff. Like nothing that seems like, okay, they're sugarcoating it, or they're just like people who are overly, who are like, let's say, fanatics of the MCU or Spider-Man in general, or just giving it fan service.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there that seems like they're trying to prop it up for any specific reason.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman, for example.
Yeah.
I want to bring that, which got good reviews and highly disappointed me. Yeah. So not to say that reviews always mean everything.
Which is so refreshing to hear Carl say that.
There are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
It does happen.
More often with some than others.
Yeah. Yeah. But so with this coming out, we want to do a little retrospective on all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And any other Spider-Man, maybe comics or cartoons. We'll just have a discussion, talk about that stuff.
Yeah, just kind of reflect fondly and not so fondly on the different iterations that have come out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do maybe a quick ranking of all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, which I don't like. After listening to the villains ranking and our speculation, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised.
Yeah,
like where we fall on those. I'll actually be amazed if we don't line up almost identically.
Yeah. Well, we rattle that off real quick. All right.
Okay.
At the bottom.
At the bottom.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far.
Then Spider-Man 3.
I put Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Really?
At number 4, yeah.
I mean, I would put that as the next one up.
I mean,
I'd put it at 3.
It's close, but I put Spider-Man 3 above that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 1.
And then Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
Easily the best one.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like, through and through. Just that's very much what a comic book movie should... Well, at least at the time should have been, until I watched the Avengers and I was like, it's like watching a comic book. Thank you, Joss Whedon. I want to give you hugs. Yeah.
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, I mean, really, really good movies. I mean, the third one is, not everybody likes the third one. And I get there's some bad stuff in there.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, what I didn't like about it was almost, as someone who's a fan of Spider-Man, it was almost offensive, like the route they took with Venom.
You see, I don't understand why people had a problem with the Venom stuff.
See, I had a problem with the look of Venom. Like I liked that they cast Tobey Maguire as Eddie Brock. Topher Grace, sorry, thank you. No, Tobey Maguire played dual roles.
Yeah, right.
No, Topher Grace. At one
point he did.
Yeah. No, like I liked that. It was they were finding an analog for Peter Parker where, if you're going to go straight by the book, you're going to get somebody jacked. You're going to get, like Channing Tatum. Or if it's in the 80s, you're going to get Dolph Lundgren. You're going to get that guy to play Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Where in this, like, you're getting, somebody who you could have cast as Peter Parker.
Right. Which makes sense. Yeah. The thing, like, a lot of people were annoyed. They're like, oh, he doesn't look like the huge, jacked bodybuilder Venom.
Yeah.
To me, immediately I thought, like, why does it matter? I mean, Venom's strength doesn't come from his
the suit.
physical prowess. Like, it's just a suit.
See, I just think the execution of the suit was really kind of cheesy.
I thought it looked great.
Really?
I love the effect on it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, it looked really weird when he had, like, the weird teeth.
Yeah.
And, like, when the mask was off.
See, I actually liked, not the teeth, but I actually liked the look when the mask was off. It
was kind of neat, like, the way it was sort of, like stretched back and, like, parts of it was sort of, like, pulling back off of him. And
like, I thought that looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just didn't look like what I would have imagined Venom to look like. And it goes back to the argument that I always make where you have somebody that looks like Spider-Man. Like, and I don't mean like Tobey Maguire. You have a suit that looks like Spider-Man's suit. Like, it's just what it should have looked like. It was right up there with, like, the Chris Reeves Superman suit that you saw in the 70s, where it's like, that's what Superman looks like.
Yeah.
I get that. Like,
yeah, but I mean, what was wrong with it? I mean, like, the face looked great. Like,
I didn't like
when the Venom, like, when he looked like Venom, he had the mouth and everything and all the teeth and
I don't know. It just, maybe it was the Uncanny Valley kind of thing, or the proportions were off, but there was just something that was unsettling about it, but not in the right way that it should have been unsettling.
I didn't get that. That was always the thing. I was like, oh, this is cool. As much as the movie wasn't great, like, I liked seeing Venom on screen. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked cool as Venom. Now, they could have made him, when he had the suit on, look a little bulkier.
Yeah, which I think they did.
Yeah, I think a little, but not like as big. But that's, like, again, that didn't matter that much to me.
Yeah. And actually, the one thing I did like that they did with Venom was, instead of giving the Spider-Man webbing, the webs were just part of the symbiote that was coming out. Like, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a cool effect and a good way to handle it.
Yeah, that looked cool. But I even liked in the end. I mean, I don't like how they sort of resolved it completely, but I did like how when Peter surrounded him with, like, those beams and the sound was messing with it, and he was sort of, like, expanding and pulling off of him, and it looked really cool. It was a very neat effect.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of cool. And I do like...
it was like fighting to hold Eddie Brock within it. He didn't want to lose his host, essentially.
Yeah, and Eddie Brock was fighting to stay in. Yeah. But yeah, that was cool. I mean, there was good stuff to it, but I don't know, overall it was just... I think it's kind of like how Dark Knight Rises is an okay movie, but I don't enjoy it nearly as much because it followed The Dark Knight. Yeah, and it doesn't live up to it.
That's true.
So, I think that's a fair analog.
That movie might have gotten the same sort of reception if it had some weird dance number in it.
Yeah. That's the thing that weird dance number, but there were a couple.
There was two, essentially.
Yeah, a couple means two.
Yes, that's true. I would have let it go with the one where he's out in the streets, Yeah. And he's kind of acting like an idiot, and he thinks he's cool.
Yeah.
And, that would have been okay. I would have been like, all right, that was a little weird, but, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
But then the one in the nightclub.
Oh, that hurt.
I was like, wow, what is going on right now?
There was no point to that.
And not even, like, what's her name?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, like, that character, like, didn't find it weird at all.
Yeah. She's like, no, this is what we do.
Yeah. Until, like, the end when she realized, like, what he was. But that was, like, different. Yeah. What I mean is she didn't find it weird that, like, this odd dance number was happening.
Yeah.
And that Peter could do all these weird dance things. Like,
yeah, which, at what point did he learn how to dance?
I don't know.
Is he, like, the second host of, like, the Venom symbiote, and before it was like Fred Astaire.
Absolutely.
And then like Fred Astaire died, so then he went and found Peter Parker. So like Venom got all of like Peter Parker's like spider abilities, and Peter Parker got all of Fred Astaire's dancing, like dance moves.
Now, it's famously the story goes that Sam Raimi didn't want Venom in this movie.
Yeah.
He never planned to have him in the movie, and that he had added him into the movie at studio request.
Yeah.
And there is if you watch the way the movie brings Venom into the movie, it definitely seems like it was half-assed and he didn't care, because literally it comes out of nowhere. Like a meteor just randomly hits Earth, and there's the Venom symbiote.
Yeah, that was kind of just weird.
Yeah, and it's weird because they gave themselves the perfect in with Spider-Man 2, because Mary Jane was dating the guy who was the astronaut.
Yeah,
right?
Jameson's son, John Jameson.
So they could have had some little arc where he went to,
where he brought something back from space
and brought something back with him.
Yeah.
And that would have been your answer right there as to where the suit came from, or where the symbiote came from.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's essentially like where Venom came from in the animated series.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember it that well. Is that what they did? That sounds like what they did.
Yeah, he brought back like a meteor core sample.
Okay.
And because he crashed the shuttle on the I think it was on the Brooklyn Bridge, and then Rhino was there to steal whatever was there, and then Spider-Man beat him, and then he thought he had like the black tar all over his suit, and then it turned into Venom. And then he decided to turn into the guy from Aerosmith, Steve Tyler. So one of the strangest things that ever stuck with me from that show.
But Spider-Man 3 had Sandman, who looked incredible. The special effects were incredible on that. There's some really great action sequences in this.
Yeah.
Like even the beginning action sequence, the first one where Harry comes after Peter.
Yeah, that was cool, where he's going after the ring.
Yeah, and he's going after it's a really good action sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really well shot. I think these movies are very much Sam Raimi movies, though.
Yeah.
Like, they have a very similar feel that if you were to watch, maybe not the Evil Dead series, but if you were to watch maybe Darkman, it would have the same feel. But, I mean, I think he's definitely the right person to have brought in to do these movies. Because I definitely agree. Because he's like the right cross section of like character development with action, with visual style, with just tying it all together.
Yeah. Now in the third movie is where some of the character development gets kind of like you're tired of it.
Yeah.
The whole Mary Jane back and forth with Peter and Harry. Yeah. I mean, like most of that is like you're just tired of it at this point because it's been going on for 3 movies.
Yeah.
The Gwen Stacy stuff didn't add too much, there was that cool sequence where he saves her from like the crane thing happening. That was also a pretty cool action. And of course the final action sequence is really cool too, with Sandman becoming the giant monster and then him fighting Venom at the same time, and then Harry and Peter teaming up to fight them. And, I mean, it was great. It was a cool team up, something we didn't get in any of the other Spider-Man movies because he couldn't team up with any other Marvel hero, so they gave him something else, and that was pretty cool. So there was a lot of stuff in this movie that I enjoyed, and like if it's on TV, like I would probably watch it because there's stuff in it that I like. I could ignore the crap. I could get up and get a snack during the dance number and act like it never happened. Yeah, and be entertained by this movie. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely ones that I'd put on before it, but. I mean, I've watched it multiple times. There has a lot in there that I did enjoy, but on the scale of the Spider-Man movies, I don't know. I'd still put it.
So yeah, you put it below Amazing Spider-Man 1. Yeah. So what? Let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man 1.
All right. I really like Andrew Garfield in the role. Yeah. I think they gave him a lot of good stuff. I think they were able to, and I think they did a better job with Tom Holland, but I think they were able to kind of like nail down what is considered a nerd now. It's not Steve Urkel. It's not the guy with the pocket protector. It's not, I mean, it's like, just the outcast kid who's a little brainy but awkward, and like why couldn't he have a skateboard? Like, that's not like a cool it's not like the cool dude thing. Like
that's the kind of thing that makes me roll my eyes. The whole skateboard thing.
I really like that sequence, dude.
Because you like that scene?
Yeah, dude.
Oh god, I hated that so much. When him in that like abandoned whatever
factory
building
or whatever.
Yeah.
Right after like Kevin Bacon like went through to just Footloose like angsty dance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's doing these stupid skateboard tricks, like learning he's got superpowers. Spider-Man. It's because it was cheesy, and
I think it was a good way to introduce the idea that he was learning how to to develop his powers, because it was very much like he's like owling over like the paint can, and then he's like and like
but like the superpower. I guess he already knew how to ride a skateboard and all, but like. What does the superpower make you a better skateboarder? Like it's silly.
No, but it's a matter of just he's like he's stronger and he can jump higher, so he can just pop the board more, and he's realizing like there's more and more that he can do,
and he's swinging from chains.
Dude, I would have done that too.
Swinging from chain. I guess because he didn't have webs at the time, because you got to make them.
Yeah. Which
in this movie he just kind of buys?
No, he steals them from Oscorp, because
I felt like he bought it though.
I thought or maybe he bought them, but like
I was confused because
like Oscorp, they were manufacturing the web.
Yeah. And they show that like he saw it on TV or something, right?
I don't think
something.
Dude, I think you're making up half this movie.
No, he saw it either maybe it was a news. He saw that they made this.
He was. Maybe he saw on ATV, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it was like on the TV in the background, and like he noticed that this thing that they were developing.
Well, no, because
didn't matter.
He saw them like
at that time
making it at Oscorp though, like when he was there when he got bitten by the spider.
Well, there was all that machines and stuff, but he didn't know what the hell that was at the time.
You don't know that.
Okay, maybe he knew because he saw it on TV.
I have to rewatch this. I don't think he saw it on TV.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Well, so we're gonna have to look this up.
I'm gonna rewatch.
Someone's gonna be like, "This guy's an idiot. Doesn't know what he's talking
about." I'm gonna
about,
rewatch this, and you're gonna get a text in the middle of the night. It's just all caps, like "No TV."
But so he just kind of like, does he steal it or does he order it?
Yeah.
From Oscorp?
Yeah.
How much does he have? Does he know how to make it somehow?
I imagine that he would have like stolen it.
But now Spider-Man's a thief.
Well, yeah. No, it's because you're right. It's amoral, but at the same time, like he doesn't have a job. He's not a photographer yet. Like, so where is he able to afford like these industrial polymers? Like,
yeah, it's like the way they presented the web shooters and him making the web shooters in this, I didn't buy it for a second.
See, I would have been into it if it turned out that was something that it was like part of his father's research and he was able to manipulate it.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah, like that could have been something cool. But
yeah, but they act like he's supposed to be this really smart kid. He's supposed to be good at science and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, is he a master engineer as well?
Apparently.
Because, and I know you have to believe that as part of Spider-Man's character, but the movie didn't make me believe it well enough. And that was one of the things that really bothered me with that movie. They just sort of like,
I don't know. I think they laid enough ground in there where, he had that electric lock to lock his door, stuff like that, where they show like it's not incredibly advanced, but it's enough to show that like he's mechanically inclined. He's a bright kid, and he's like at least tinkering with electronics. Yeah. It's and I know in Civil War they weren't trying to give us like any backstory, but at least it was a little more believable than what they kind of did with Tom Holland. But
we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Well, we'll find out Thursday.
It's fine that I don't know, because the less you have to really explain how he invented that, probably the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I want to get back to Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Okay, can I just guess why you don't like him?
Yeah, please.
Is it because he stole Emma Watson's heart from you?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're
just jealous.
Yeah, no one's gonna touch my woman.
Yeah.
So you know, we have this thing going on, and it's over now because of Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, you know, and your fiance.
Oh yeah, well there's
her too.
No, that she came after. You know? Yeah. So.
She knows about it. She knows she could be backburnered at any minute. She's okay with it. She won't. She won't stand in the way.
Yeah, I mean, being second to her is, you know, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
She's an Oscar winner now. So.
True. For a movie with dance sequences.
Probably good ones. I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see La La Land.
I should see it. I wanted to.
I've heard good things. I've only heard good things.
So Andrew Garfield, he was just way too cool to be Peter Parker. Like in the beginning of the movie, his relationship with Gwen Stacy, immediately I'm like, all right, so he's already getting that.
Yeah.
Like there's no, he doesn't need to become Spider-Man and like learn to be, you know, cooler or confident, you know, be different. Yeah. He's getting that already. Like he's already in there.
I will say though, to the credit of that movie, you know, and I don't know if like you felt the same way, but like as someone who grew up a nerdy kid who was awkward, they very much like perfectly captured the like sophomore junior year of high school trying to ask out the girl, you know, and just like them just being like bashful and awkward, and you know, like I think they just perfectly captured.
I mean, I feel like that's a lot of people. That's not necessarily the
no
nerdy kid. Like
no,
the
but
nerdy kid doesn't even talk to the girl.
No, but I'm saying to the credit of the movie, like, you know, they were able to do that. And if you remember, it was Uncle Ben that started that conversation.
Yeah. What was it again?
He was because I think he said like, oh, that's the girl from your computer.
Yeah, right.
You know, he's like, I'm his parole officer. You know.
Yeah.
You know, because
even so,
which that was such a great moment with Uncle Ben where he's like, yeah, I'm super pissed at you, but you know what, dude, I'm gonna help you out.
I didn't remember.
Yeah, it was because it was right after like he had to go to the school because Peter like was doing the thing with Flash Thompson where he destroyed the glass backboard.
Oh.
And
oh god, that scene.
Yeah, and that was a bad scene. I'll give you that.
So bad.
But then yeah, it was just the scene where like Uncle Ben's at the school, and he you know, and he's like yelling at Peter, and then he notices like Gwen behind him, and he starts going like, "Oh, hey, that's the girl that's on your computer." And,
yeah, right.
Like for basically forcing him into the conversation, which I thought was great. They did more in that one scene than they ever did with Cliff Richards in the first Spider-Man, to actually show a reason why Peter would love him outside of just knowing that he's his uncle and he raised him, and you know, I'm supposed to believe that he loved him, whereas this just shows like almost the unconditional love that Uncle Ben had for Peter, where he's like, I'm super mad at you, but this is gonna make you happy. I'm still gonna be pissed. I'm gonna ream you out when you get home, but you know what, dude, I'm gonna try and set this in motion. I thought that was, I don't know, I really liked that scene.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't know, I just like that whole sequence, like not the thing in the gym with Flash, because that was stupid.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it did play into showing how cocky and arrogant Peter was getting, so that I was able to believe that this nice kid was, you know, just gonna let the guy who was robbing the store get away. So, you know, I mean, there's stuff that I didn't love, but a lot of it just, you know, through the storytelling, it did add up.
You said there, cocky and arrogant, and that's not, to me, that's not Spider-Man. Like,
well, because, I mean, we've only seen like 2 pages of Peter Parker before he was Spider-Man. You know, like, because if you remember, like going, you know, in the different interpretations and retellings, even if you go back to the original comic, you know, Amazing Fantasy 15. He's this really nice, sweet kid. You know, he's got his doting aunt and uncle, and then he gets bit by the spider, and then immediately the first thing his mind comes to is, I'm gonna cash in on this. You know, and he's like, I'm gonna take on the wrestler, and then I'm gonna go on the Tonight Show, and I'm gonna do these stunts. And then, you know, he gets a little too big for his britches, and he's just like, what? You know, you have the nameless robber who's like, robbing the thing, and at that point you buy that he's like, oh yeah, he doesn't know, he doesn't realize what he should have done, and he's cocky and arrogant. And
well, I mean, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man handled that far better. I mean, that's how the movie did it, and he did sort of like think that he was,
I mean, I didn't say
he's like, I have these powers now, I can do these things, but
like,
you have to realize that.
I'm not saying that it didn't do it better. I mean, I mean, we both ranked it as number 2.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Yeah. His Spider-Man also, to me,
I just like Martin Sheen better than Cliff Richards as Uncle Ben. I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess I would say that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was better. Like I think Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker.
Yeah, I would say that.
But Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man also was a little flawed to me in that he was like at times I felt he was playing with the criminals.
Yeah.
Like they felt almost like his victims at times.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, there was some stuff with it that I thought was fun, like where the guy pulls a knife on him. He's like, "Oh God, no! My only weakness is that a tiny knife." Like that was fun.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like the thing in the car where the guy's trying to get out and he's just like shooting the web and like pulling the door back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a little like the cat like batting around the mouse.
Right. It was a little much. So like that portrayal, I didn't like so much, and I don't know. I mean, if we could talk about the villain, a little bit, like Lizard.
Yeah.
I mean, being, again, if it was the first movie, maybe it'd be better, but the way they play this character out, he's almost the exact ripoff of the way they did Green Goblin in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Which I don't necessarily hold that against it too much because, I mean, so much of early Marvel was derivative of itself. I mean, because I make the joke all the time, but Doctor Strange really is Tony Stark, just with a different vocation.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah.
Different powers, different vocation, but he's still the smarmy rich jerk, So, I mean, a lot of it does kind of just refer back to itself. So I can kind of let that go. It's not necessarily what I would have done with the movie.
Yeah, but it was so like beat for beat.
Yeah. If I had my way, I would have gone Craven. Like, I would have gone Craven the Hunter. I think that's...
Yeah, I want to see that. I don't know if you did it for the first movie.
I would do it in the first movie.
I mean, you could do that if you establish Spider-Man to have already been around for a while. But doing an origin story, so like you could do that with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but you can't really do that.
And they should have.
Yeah,
because I don't care about the Vulture.
Well, maybe we'll get in the second movie. It's possible.
I mean, it's actually I don't think it's very likely because Amy Pascal, she's throwing around that Craven is going to have a standalone movie, and what's the point of that without Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's not an interesting character without Spider-Man.
I don't like Amy Pascal anymore.
I don't know.
Not to say that I ever really liked her, but it was a general indifference coming from just not knowing she existed.
Yeah.
But now, like, just the stuff that it just seems like she's going out of her way to grasp onto things to unintentionally ruin it. But that's off the point because we're talking about happy things with Spider-Man.
Whoa, so happy! Like that moment.
Trying to get to
like the moment where
we'll eventually talk about Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll both be like, "It was great."
So the moment where the city finally like decides to help Spider-Man in the end, and like these crane operators
and you didn't get choked up because he's like, hey, he saved my kid on the bridge, so now I'm gonna help him.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna like in the middle of the night like go to my crane up at the construction site. And,
no, they were working at night.
And start turning no, they weren't working at night.
You don't know that.
They were not. You don't do crane operations at night. That's some dangerous work.
Yeah. And that's why they're so well paid. They're so skilled.
So they turn all the cranes so that he can like.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that like every building had a crane
or jump. Yeah, to get to where he needs to go quicker. I'm like, this is so silly. Right?
Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense because I mean, why can't he just swing from building to building like he always does?
Yeah.
That was a little weird, but I mean, it was a nice moment where it was just showing that the city is finally like throwing their support behind him.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess enough about that. I mean, yeah. They of course they made the same mistake of doing like the 30-year-old playing the high school kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was like 24 playing 16, but
yeah, I thought he was close to 30 at that point.
No,
maybe he wasn't 30. Maybe even like 28. I don't know.
Dude, I don't think he's that old.
He is.
Are you stalking him because he's stealing your girlfriend?
I'll look it up. Which movie do we want to talk about? Next. Do you want to go good? Continue. bad?
Well, I mean,
Continue.
I don't know about you, but I'm totally cool with like skipping the one at the bottom of the list because I don't really have anything to say about it that I want to that I want to like relive.
I can only say with that movie, the one thing I want to say is like I distinctly remember watching this movie in theaters and just sitting there like with my arms crossed, like stone faced the whole time, like just so unamused by that movie.
Just trying to dare the movie to make you laugh or make you
like,
smile.
Entertain me in some way, please. Like some cool. Not even the action sequences were like. I mean, some of the electro stuff was cool looking.
Yeah, I
like,
mean, the effect was okay, but I don't know what you would have done with that costume to make it not look ridiculous, but still have it refer back to the comic because he has that giant lightning bolt star mask that looks kind of dumb.
Yeah,
like it looks dumb even in the comic, but like I don't know what you would have done in the movie. I guess that was fine, but I don't know. I didn't love it, and I mean they still killed Gwen Stacy, or they still had Peter kill Gwen Stacy accidentally while he's trying to save her, even though I don't like that it was like right above the ground because then it's instantly that he killed her even though she was gonna die anyway. Whereas, like, off the bridge, it's like, yeah, she could have gone into a swan dive.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have to mention how much I hated when he shoots the web to save her.
Yeah.
And the web is like, the end of the web looks like it's a little hand.
Oh, yeah, where
right?
it opens up.
It opens up, and it's like a little hand reaching out to grab her. I'm like, wow, that is some on-the-nose, cheesy-ass garbage right there.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but... yeah, I don't have a whole lot redeemable about that movie.
Yeah. All right, so the movie was in 2014. Andrew Garfield is 33 right now. So yeah,
it was 30.
30.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly 30. Well, we were filming it maybe the year before.
So 29.
29. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously now we have left is the best two of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yep.
And the first movie was just like, so it was so cool to see this happen.
It's what I imagine. Yeah, it's what I imagine watching the original Superman in the theater. Because you go in, you're like, yeah, I think I know. I know what I'm gonna see, and then you just see something where it just kind of like blows you away because you're not expecting it to be what it was. You have these characters that you care about, and you have like just this really cohesive look, and they almost they make the suit make sense, and they make it look cool, and they make it look good. I don't know, it was just they screwed up Green Goblin, which is why it's
a little bit. Yeah,
I mean I don't love the suit, especially because I think I said in the supervillain review or ranking that you got a guy who looks like the Green Goblin without like a mask. So, I would have been cool if they cast like just some dude and then you put Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. Like,
now, there was a really cool animatronic like thing they were working on, right?
That was cool. Yeah, it looked just like it.
Yeah, I don't know really the whole story. Did it not work out and they couldn't use it? And
I don't know what the deal with it was,
but one of the things, like, I'm not so familiar with Green Goblin's origin and his character too much, but the way they did this in the movie, I felt it seemed like better than anything they had ever written in the comics.
I'll actually say I was a big fan of what they did with introducing the Green Goblin in the comics, because they intentionally did a very slow burn before they showed who he was.
Before they revealed it? Okay.
Because he was just a Green Goblin for a long time. Like, you knew it was a guy in a mask, but they always obscured his face. Like, whenever, it showed, because he didn't have the glider, he had a broomstick. It was like a jet engine that he called like his magic broomstick. But he still had like, instead of like pumpkin bombs, he had like these sparks that shot out of the fingers of his gloves. And it was just a very slow burn. Like, it was many issues before they even introduced Norman Osborn. Mm-hmm. And then it was still after that they revealed that Norman Osborn was a Green Goblin. So it was actually really cool, especially for me having the perception, like growing up in the 80s and 90s, that they would have done something a lot more simple in the 60s. They would have just attacked it all in one issue. It would be like 5 pages and you're done.
Yeah. Did they plan that all along, or did they at some point they were like, oh, let's just make this cool twist and have the Green Goblin be this character?
For how it was written, I can't. They might have changed it along the way, but it was very much they were building toward revealing who he was. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool.
But the way they did it in the movie,
yeah, it was different, but it was cool.
Like, I loved that he was working on some experimental thing to enhance strength or whatever.
Yeah,
and I really loved the way the movie did that sort of like dual origin for both of them, like simultaneously creating them. And I love the sort of split personality thing.
Yeah, the Gollum Smeagol thing.
Yeah, and like the scene with him talking to himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Such a great, incredible scene.
Yeah. Like, I love the look of the Goblin glider that they gave him.
Yeah, the glider looks fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't like the suit just because it just looked like a jumpsuit or like a flight suit, but I also understand why it did.
Yeah, I mean, the explanation for it in the movie made a practical reason for it to exist.
Yeah.
Like the glider was supposed to be some sort of military weapon that they were developing.
Yeah.
And the suit was just the flight suit to use it. I mean, that's cool. And
for me, I think, because the helmet kind of came out of nowhere. What I would have preferred them do is if they went with the traditional looking, like the animatronic mask that they made. And if they then went the route of like, he progressed where like he started off where he was, like he just had his face like obscured, or he had like a flight mask on or something. And so you couldn't see. And then each time he came back as the Goblin, he was falling more and more into that persona. Mm-hmm. And like the more he looked like the Goblin, the more he was like actually falling into that personality. I think that would have been a cool way to do it. And, you could explain like why he looked the way he did if you got it really close to looking how it did in the comic. Yeah. But at the same time, like it's kind of a negligible thing because I still remember everything about the movie very fondly.
Yeah. I mean, keeping him human, made his character, his fall and his relationship with Peter much more interesting.
Yeah.
So if he started to transform into some sort of monster.
Well, no, I don't mean like transform. I mean like he keeps on adding stuff to the suit.
Oh, okay.
Like where he just adds stuff onto the flight suit. Where he brings in like the purple like tunic or something. And he's building a character on top of it to make him more menacing. No, I don't want it to do like the Ultimate Spider-Man where he actually turns into like this giant goblin that breathes fire. I never liked that.
And that makes me think though that they should do Hobgoblin in the new movies.
Yeah, they got Ned Leeds. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know that he's going to be Hobgoblin, but
I think he was also like the third Hobgoblin. But
yeah, but because they could do that better. Like they could make it look more like the comic book version now, much more easily. And I'd love to see that. And you could do it with a different version of a character than we haven't seen really, because we did, they did the same. They tried to do it again in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that looked even much worse in my opinion.
Yeah, where he basically had a flying snowboard with a paintball mask.
Oh no, you're talking about.
Oh no, oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
sorry.
that one I don't know.
No, dude, I have so much of Amazing Spider-Man 2 blocked out.
Yeah, right. No, in the end, like he just looks like diseased. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah, no, that just looked.
And then, oh god, the line in the end when like he looks normal again.
Yeah.
And like, what's going on? He's like, oh, it comes and goes. I'm like, what are you talking about right now?
Yeah, it's like that's not how physiology works. Like
what? I'm happy that will never get continued.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's a shame because I really did like Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, he's good.
I am a fan of him. Like I think he was very much like I liked his portrayal to a point. I liked the scene that he had right after his father died. He gets out of the board meeting and like Peter is there and it is kind of like his vestibule and he goes like he's basically just saying like, hey Harry, I'm here for you, and he's like dismissive, and then like they have that moment where he starts like, ripping on him for, something awkward he did as a kid, and then Peter rips on him back. I thought that was a really nice scene. I think that showed what their relationship could have been, if they developed that more, then they just took that stark left turn.
And they also just totally skipped out on Norman Osborn in those movies.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll just kill him.
Yeah.
He's got some weird degenerative disease. And then Dane DeHaan, or Harry, he's like, I've got the same disease too, and I gotta fix this really quick because my dad just died at his 60s, and I'm in my 20s, and I have no time.
Yeah.
Like what? What? You got 40 damn years.
It's like, yeah, dude, you'll figure it out. Like maybe, get Spider-Man's blood. Get one of those spiders, and maybe spend a little time researching it. All
right, we're getting back off onto the bad movies again.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, man. Spider-Man 2.
Why did his dad have the Turtles lair from Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, Carl? Why? How did he afford that? How did he afford to make a subway car rise out of tracks that split?
Who made it?
Yeah.
Him himself? Did he hire a crew? I don't get it.
God, I hate so much about that. There's some stuff in there that I think is fun and I like, and I love the look that they gave Spider-Man because it looks exactly like how Mark Bagley draws Spider-Man, and he's I don't love how he draws people, but he is my favorite Spider-Man artist. Mm-hmm. I just love the exaggerated and very lanky build that he gives Spider-Man. I just like the look of it. And he looked just like it, but so much of that movie was such crap.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, we're talking about the good one.
The good Spider-Man 2. The real Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus. Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus.
Just brilliant casting, excellent execution. Everything about it is aces. I have nothing bad to say about it.
About the character.
The character,
the
yeah.
movie.
The movie, the movie has some issues, but...
Yeah, I mean, if I want to say that I didn't like the whole him just sort of losing his powers because he doesn't have faith in himself anymore.
See,
I don't
that's
know
the thing, because when I was watching it, I never looked at it as he lost his powers. I'm sure he still had the spinnerets in his wrists and he was still able to walk on the walls, but I kind of just took it as he got sick and his body was reacting negatively toward it, and he just it was all psychosomatic stuff where he wasn't allowing himself to do it. It's stuff that they've done in the comics, and I was okay with it, and it did lead to giving us the live action view of the was it maybe a John Romita Spider-Man cover, the Spider-Man No More, where he's walking out of the alley and you just have the suit hanging out of the garbage can. Yeah. That was a beautiful shot.
But his vision got worse again.
That was a little wonky.
Why do you got to go that far as to show that now he needs glasses again?
Yeah.
None of that made any sense. Now the movie is really good despite that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a good story arc that he goes through, a character arc. So
he didn't have an awkward dance move.
Yeah. So you got to kind of let that go, but his relationship with Dr. Octopus was really good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Him there's a couple scenes with him talking to him just as a person who was interested in his research, and
yeah. And then I like that, and then how they built on that, where it wasn't just the academic conversation, it was just he Peter was just sounding about just getting his take on life,
right.
And not fully grasping that, but no, they had a great chemistry, that the two actors, and I love the budding mentorship that they were bringing up.
Mm-hmm. And now let's talk about the Dr. Octopus arms.
So great,
incredible, man,
so great.
God, they nailed that completely. And on top of the nailing the look of it, and
mm-hmm.
and of course it doesn't look exactly like the comic, but it's really great. But they also added that element of it, each of them having them sort of their own AI.
Yeah.
And that being sort of the cause of why he's starting to act differently, because it's connected to his spine and it's influencing his thoughts,
Yeah. No, I thought that was great, because they each had their own distinct personality and stuff, and that was great. And they just the way they moved eels or snakes, it was just eerie enough. just to be menacing just by it existing. Now, here's a bit of trivia. I'll ask you: do you know what Alfred Molina named the arms?
I've heard it before. I don't remember though.
Yeah, it was Mo, Larry, Curly, and Flo.
Flo.
Yeah, because I guess he never heard of Shemp. So there was a fourth stooge. Well,
Yeah.
actually, five stooges because there was like Curly Joe.
I like how he like even the inside of the at the end of the arms they had those little like
Oh yeah, the little like pincer things
that came out so he could like smoke the cigar like
Yeah.
with the octopus arm. Like it's just so great, and the way it looked around like it clamped around his waist, it just looked really cool. It's just a great design.
Yeah.
And I loved how they made the effort in the effect, like when he would, like I think he throws a car at one point, right?
Yeah.
But like the back two arms,
Yeah, they
like,
brace.
plant,
Yeah.
right? They plant themselves on the ground, so then the other two can then throw something. Which I was like, that makes total sense because there's no way that he could support the weight of a car.
Yeah.
On just his back, like his
and then it
attachment.
turns out that it's not. He's not like supporting the weight. It's the arms.
It's just the arms,
and
right?
that right there just shows so much thought that they put into the character and how they were going to execute it with giving it like its own physics and giving it its own way to make sense.
Yeah,
like that was incredible.
Yeah, now of course I'm sure you think of other parts of the movie, it probably doesn't make 100% sense, but like at least you see like
yeah,
they
like
made
why
you
you have all
believe.
these people fighting over Kirsten Dunst.
Good point.
Yeah.
But they definitely tried to make it feel like it could exist. You know?
Yeah.
Now I never understood why Dr. Octopus could take a punch to the face from Spider-Man.
It's because he pulls his punches on regular people.
I mean, he would have to, but
yeah, I mean the guy can like bench press a tank. Like
Right.
he has to pull his punches, or else he's just gonna liquefy somebody's face.
But like, talk about action sequence in this movie, man. I mean, the sequences, like, of course, there's the train sequence.
That was cool. I think one of my favorite was like the one that started in the bank.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good one. You're
Yeah.
climbing up the building and like part. What was that like? Part of the clock handle fake
Yeah.
that gets thrown down, and Peter like webs it up and then swings it
swings it
around,
back,
throws
yeah.
it out. Really cool. Like just really memorable, cool action moments.
Yeah,
in
it
these
was
things.
like fun and imaginative, and it was really just kind of came off as like a better version of like somebody playing with their Spider-Man toys.
Yeah.
Like it was great. It was, you got some shots of some stereotypical like Spider-Man looking things, but then you went the whole other direction of of just having it be just fun. Like
yeah, I'm gonna throw shade again now at DC, but as I
so
often
you're gonna
do,
say like I'm gonna throw shade at Spider-Man 2. I was
Yeah.
gonna start throwing things.
as I often do, but
As we
you
all
know,
do.
to do good action doesn't necessarily mean you have to have like really lengthy, elaborate sequences. Like
Yeah.
some of these are longer, but like they're interesting. They do things that
Yeah.
are very creative.
They grasp you.
Right, and you find ways to use their abilities and powers in ways that you might not have thought, or do things that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So that you can look at, like Batman vs Superman, for example, and like there's that
have to.
yeah, there's that sequence with Batman fighting in the warehouse that everybody loves. I'm like, they say that's the best action sequence in that movie,
It is.
and it is, but it's not overly creative. It's not like, there's a couple of moments in it that are kind of cool, like with the guns, and like
Yeah.
he disables all their guns, but otherwise he's just like kind of brutalized like everybody. He's just beating everybody and knocking
Yeah.
them out. And there's some cool like sort of moments of like hitting the guy into the floor, his head bouncing into the floor, but like
Yeah, Batman just straight up murdering people.
yeah, right. But like the action sequences in Spider-Man 2 are just better. I mean, and even Spider-Man 1 doesn't have any, elaborate action sequences. It was kind of
Yeah.
early when they did that movie, they didn't have the special effects, essentially, the CG effect to do it well.
Yeah.
But once they got to 2, like they were able to do these incredible things with Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man, and it's just that imagination, creativity is what you need in these sequences.
Yeah. And it comes down to just getting somebody like Sam Raimi who he's able to do the cool visuals, but he never sacrifices the character, which, to continue throwing shade, it's where the separation is with Zack Snyder, where he has these incredible visuals, but just completely neglects character.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's like, I want to see this happen, and it doesn't matter if that's against the character, or even if it's against the plot of the movie.
I'm gonna have Batman do this stuff, and he's gonna straight up murder people.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Spider-Man, pulls his punches. I mean, we can assume. I mean, they don't say that specifically in the movie, so
yeah.
It would have been nice if they mentioned that, but you don't see Spider-Man killing anyone or
no,
knocking anyone out cold.
Not that we see. Turns out that was going to be the plot of the next Amazing Spider-Man movie. It was just his horrendous murder streak. Just that was the introduction of Venom. It's a split personality.
Dark time, yeah. He was the Venom suit was underneath the other suit, so we didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his excuse.
Yeah.
It's like, I blame it on the Venom suit.
Yeah. It wasn't me. It was Venom the whole time.
Sure it was, kid. Yeah. All right? Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's it for the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I mean, this whole conversation just all comes down to the excitement that we have for Homecoming coming up and its sequel, Prom. Calling it's going to be called Prom. Actually, just really quick, because when we were doing the supervillain rankings, I do wonder if Homecoming, if it's coincidence or if it does have something that ties into Homecoming being one of the trigger words for Bucky.
I mean, I don't know if that...
all of a sudden, it turns out that all of that, applies where Spider-Man's going to fight the Vulture in a boxcar and then whatever the other ones are.
I mean, I would imagine it happened the other way, that they already knew the title for Spider-Man. And they just threw that in there we'll put that word in there as one of the words. Yeah. Because you could change that one word.
Yeah.
It's like a voiceover.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little ADR, but...
Yeah.
Nah. No, No, the movie's gonna be fun. Regardless of anything, it's just gonna be a fun movie.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, check out. We'll do our review of it.
Yep.
Coming up, that'll be next week.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of next week, this is going up on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. From the ever so patriotic superhero's journey.
Exactly.
Have fun listening to this over the sound of fireworks.
You may be, although it's in the morning, so maybe it'll be on your commute to whatever family function you're going to.
No, I just imagine they'll want to listen to this on repeat.
Repeat?
Yeah.
I don't think we're that entertaining.
Don't sell us short, Carl. I mean, maybe you, but yeah.
No. All right. So, I think that's it.
Yeah. No, I think we've taken enough of your time today.
That's right. All right, so this has been the Superhero's Journey.
It has.
It is episode number 8.
Correct.
Look for us on Twitter.
Yes.
At Superhero Journey.
I'm just punctuating everything you say.
Yeah. I'm Carl Freemerman.
I'm Brian Shores.
And we also have an email.
Yep.
It's at superhero. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's the Superhero's Journey at gmail.com. Heroes is plural, not possessive.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.